Premise 1, atheism is a belief. Premise 2, atheists believe their beliefs are fake. Conclusion, atheism is fake. What's up, man?
Premise 1, nah, if nah, then Premise 2, nah, therefore, nah,
Let's go.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up?
I'm just chilling.
I'm not trying to get anything too deep. I just want to know like what your thoughts on Alethea's axioms are. If you're a big sharks guy.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I love it. Like, it's solid. I'm still working on, trying to figure out a defeater for it. So.
You're actually trying to defeat it?
Mm-hmm. Of course. It's the honest thing to do, right?
Wait, okay. Okay, I know you can't hear me when I teacup, but I'm gonna be right back in 30 seconds. I don't know if you have a way to look at it.
29, 28, 20. I'm just playing.
Where is it?
Everybody, thank you so much for the likes. Appreciate you. If you're not following me, you can follow me. I go live as often as I can. And, appreciate your faces. Hope you're doing well.
Okay, I have the note pulled up. I just need to find... There's one, wait, did you just go live or have you been live for a while?
Yeah, I just went live. I went live a few minutes ago and TikTok Studio was bugging out, but I was only live for like a couple minutes.
Yeah, I tried to enter and it kept wigging out. Wait, I'm gonna get the premise, okay? I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so it says the claim God exists can be tested, measured, and falsified. What do you think about that?
Yeah, because truth can be measured, tested, and falsified, right?
But are we saying that the truth and God, like if we had property sets that of the truth and the property sets of God, they would be the exact same property set?
Right, yeah, because God is just the three-letter symbol that we use to describe that universal unifying principle.
Okay, wait. I didn't, I guess I didn't realize. Maybe, did you get into sharks after our first ever conversation? Or was sharks...
No, I missed that. Like, I just heard about it. I heard, like, you guys talked, and, like, him and Danny talked, and some, like, I think, what's his name? Jim talked, and...
I'm saying after your and my first conversation.
Yeah. Like you and I, like on Earl's Live?
Yeah. Did you know about sharks then?
Well, I mean, I've known Shark for a couple years. Like, I've kicked him off my live multiple times. Friends of mine kicked him, but like, he was obnoxious. But I've always thought he was a cool guy. Like
no, he definitely is cool. It's just when you said
Mike and J Mike, and so like I follow quite a few atheists that are smart, and I recognize they're smart and they're cool people, and he's one of them. Like, I used to watch him all the time on other people's lives. And
when you said the three-letter symbol that we use to, it just sounded very semantic based, which is good. I like semantics.
That's what's so crazy with all of this is it's like all stuff. It's kind of like I've had the pieces there, and I've like kind of like thought about the pieces, and like, but I didn't really know how to tie it all. And then like Shark, when he like started putting this forward, it's like it just like all brought it all together and just made it all make sense. Like, like this is what I've been like. I've kind of had this there, but I just didn't know how to like tie it all together.
I guess like, so what would you say about like the consensus of like, I don't know, like almost all philosophers of religion that say that like God is necessarily like an unfalsifiable proposition?
Was the truth an unfalsifiable proposition?
Well, I'm saying like the tri-omni God of the Bible doesn't mean truth, right?
Oh. Well, I mean, that's getting into like the existence and the modes of existence of truth. I mean, this is just step one. This is like just trying to start at a foundation and just trying to make a foundation where we all kind of like at least understand where we're coming from, instead of like, oh, you're just a dumb believer in the sky daddy. Like, at least
I think that's no,
I know, I'm not saying you, I'm just saying it's just kind of the trope, right?
Yeah, I think that's condescending, and I don't like people like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess, like, if we can, let's just start over then. Like, atheism is irrational. Let's just go down one by one and just have a couple minutes on each piece, and then I can just get out of your way so you can prosper. But, like, atheism is irrational. What is your, like, I'm an atheist.
Yeah.
But I'm an atheist with a worldview, unlike some atheists who just cross their arms and say, convince me. I'm not convinced. Like, you know, like, are you talking about those people, or what?
Well, I mean, there's some, but so, like, just kind of go through it, like, step at a time, right? Like, you recognize that you exist and that you exist for, like, a contingent reason.
Okay.
And then these two things, they're not the same thing. They're not identical to each other, but they're both true. So then there's something unifying them, like a property or a state.
Wait, wait. Why can't... Oh, you're saying that truth is that property?
Yeah, so, like, in the same way, like, my phone is black, my notebook is black, but they're not the same thing. They're not identical. Okay. So they're sharing a property that we could call, like, blackness.
Yeah. Oh, wait, is this like Aquinas' Deante argument?
The what? Aquinas is what?
Deante argument? Like, there's a difference between what something is and that something is, or...
I'm not sure about that.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
not familiar with that.
I guess
it's a Platonist argument, Neoplatonism argument.
Yeah. So what's the argument? I guess that two things can't be true, and that truth not be connected to the other truth.
Well, so, like, in the same way, like.
Oh wait, Sharks is here. Do you want to let Sharks up? I'm sorry. Wait, you don't have to.
Well, if he wants to come up, he's more than welcome to come up. I mean, I don't. If he wants to come up, that's fine. But.
We actually, I mean, maybe it wouldn't be we had a recent falling out, but wait, I'm going over Alethea's axiom right now, or I was until we started this. Anyway, sorry, I'm not meaning to talk to the comments, but okay, but I guess
getting a little distracted. Okay, so
yeah, sorry.
So the black and black, right?
Yeah,
they're both black. They're not identical to each other. So, but they are sharing an identity of blackness. Okay, so in the same way, if it's true, this is black, and it's true, this is black. They're not the same thing, so they're also sharing a property identity of trueness, of being true, or truth.
I agree, both of them have that property, but I guess I'm not seeing why that property has to be some link between one thing to another thing, right? Why can't it be two separate things that are both true?
Well, it's that they're sharing something, and in sharing that, they're unified.
What I'm saying, what's the argument for, like, why can't they be separately true, but they're both true?
They are distinct but true, so that's why they're sharing some kind of property or state.
I guess what's the substantive difference between distinct and unified right there?
Well, distinct means they are not identical. Unified means, so it's like a unit, like unified, like this is, oops, let me put my notebook up here. Maybe this will make sense. I'm not the smartest guy, but so this, and where's the symbol? We can do. Where's the square root symbol on the dang keyboard? I'm such a boomer. Is there even a square root symbol on the keyboard? I don't know. Square root of 16. Just do that. I don't know where the symbol is. Is this the same number?
I think it references the same number, yeah.
Right, exactly. It's referencing the same number, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so in the same way, like, this word, truth, that's referencing this unifying principle of things that are true.
Wait, you don't have to look at the keyboard either? That's crazy.
What?
I gotta look at the keyboard. I can't do that.
Oh, yeah. I'm such a boomer, man.
No, you're good. Wait, okay, so let me... Okay, so wait. What about this makes atheism irrational? Why can't the truth be a unifying principle and atheists be true?
Because of that.
Yeah, but I mean, there's gonna... Okay, so obviously between, God is gonna have some properties that is shared with the properties of the word truth, right?
Well, I'm saying that this, like...
equals. Yeah, but...
like I said earlier,
certainly.
The easiest way for me to prove to you that God exists is for there to be no distinction between God and truth.
Right. Well, that's the easiest way for God to exist, but certainly you wouldn't want to say...
Well, the easiest way for me to prove to you that God exists.
But you wouldn't want to say that God, the property set of God and the property set of truth, are the same property set with no differences. Right? You wouldn't want to say that, right? 2 plus 2 equals 4 is true. That's not God, right?
Well, because it's not truth. It's true. So true would be like a unit of truth. Or, sorry, capital T truth. And just for clarification,
Okay.
just for clarification, to think of it direct article. And then there's also an indirect article, which would be like an honest, subjective experience.
Okay. So, we need to talk about, right? We need to talk about the word truth and the word truth with a capital T. And I need you to define those in a way such that they're not the same concept. And you're not equivocating on, like, you know.
So this is capital T truth, or the truth, direct article. This is lowercase t truth, or indirect article.
And then where does rationality fit into truth and capital T truth?
Where does rationality fit into it?
Yeah. Would you say that a rational person is somebody who is either under the indirect article or the direct article of the lowercase truth or the capital truth?
What do you mean by that? Like reasoning? Like reasonable? Like...
Well, you said atheism is irrational. And I'm saying
right, because it's irrational to reject truth. Or to reject that unifying principle.
Yeah, but indirect or the capital T truth?
Capital T.
And, okay,
direct.
So... Are you just equivocating on, like, the truth being God?
Yes. If you're using the symbol, G-O-D, just like I could use this symbol, right? Like I could just use this symbol. Or I could use this symbol, which is Spanish for truth.
I didn't know you speak Spanish. Yo peleaba con cocodrilo. Oh, sorry.
I know, my wife's Mexican, but I don't actually speak it. Or I could use this symbol.
Yeah, but, okay, so, obviously you don't work...
Wait, you know what I'm referencing, right? It's the referent, the ontology.
William.
The whatness.
I didn't mean to call you by your government name, I'm sorry.
I was like, whoa, where did my dad come from? Just kidding.
No, but obviously, look, do you think it's somehow like, let me, I want to put this in a way that, you know, is true to who I am as a person. Do you think that, you know, if you believe in the Christian God, and you put, like, a bunch of random letters equals the capital T truth, do you think that, like, that's, like, doing the service that you're trying to do for the Christian God?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm taking the first step to build a foundation of understanding.
Yeah, just to clarify, I'm really fed up with people not knowing what the equivocation fallacy is. Using multiple symbols is not an equivocation. Using multiple definitions to describe one symbol is an equivocation. So if I say soda and pop are carbonated drinks with syrup, then I'm not equivocating pop with soda.
Oh, I didn't say that.
If I say, huh?
I didn't say that.
You did. You asked him if he's equivocating God with truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the case. These are just symbols, just like
pop
and soda.
What I was accusing him of was like the definition equivocation.
What is it? Okay, what are the two definitions he's equivocating?
Well, that's why I was asking, because I think if we define God and we define truth, right, it's just going to either be...
Do you think we're equivocating pop and soda?
Well, not in your example, no.
Right, so that's not what an equivocation fallacy is.
Look, I'm not accusing... I'm trying to understand what's being said right now, right? So... If there is any malice, it's not intentional.
There is no ontological distinction between God and truth.
I think that you're going to want to say that God's property set is not equal to the truth. Unless
I
you're...
just told you what I wanted to say. There is no ontological distinction between the symbol of God and the symbol of truth.
So when I say the truth, right, you think of some triomni being?
Right. So do you understand what I'm saying about the ontology of God? It is whatever the ontology of the identity of existence or reality is, okay, is going to be identical to whether somebody says it's God or truth or the universe or whatever, right? Whenever somebody's talking about the identity of reality, it's necessarily the ontology of the totality of all there is.
Wait, say that last part again?
When we're saying God and truth, we're trying to figure out the highest standard of identifying what reality is.
Okay.
Okay, and the highest standard of identifying what reality is the unifying principle of all things that are true.
Yeah, but why isn't the highest standard for what reality is reality? Like, I don't get it.
Because that is the most parsimonious explanation of what it is, of the nature of identity. So this argument isn't precept. It is an argument from parsimony based around what I is. So
Yeah,
we're taking the axiom of self-existence, and then we're building our way up.
Yeah, but I'm saying that let's say a world exists in which two rocks exist, and they both share that trueness principle or whatever, right? Making an ontological commitment or a type of ontological commitment that you need not make is
need not make according to who?
Well, need not make in accordance to the virtue of parsimony, right? If it has equal explanatory power, and you make more types of commitments, right?
No, hang on, no. When we're saying that two rocks exist, it's necessarily the case that you're saying that these two rocks truly exist.
Yeah, I agree, but you're positing.
Okay, so yeah, you agree.
No, I'm saying that it's true that it's my hypothetical. So if two rocks exist and it's true that they exist, well, how does that necessitate a God? If that's an extra ontological commitment that you're making, how does it win on parsimony?
Oh, because God is necessarily in alignment with truth, which makes God falsifiable. You want God to be falsifiable, right?
Yeah, but do you disagree with like all philosophy of religion majors who say that God is an unfalsifiable proposition?
It depends on what they're saying by God. If they're adding a less parsimonious explanation and saying that X, Y, and Z has to be a part of it, then I might disagree with that, based around them not trying to make it elementary for people to understand it.
Yeah, when you say the truth, the capital T truth, is that a supernatural kind of thing?
Well, if by supernatural you mean scientifically unverified, well, I think a lot of things are supernatural. If by supernatural you mean something that literally is outside of all knowledge, well, then that's just gibberish, and I think you should throw that definition in the trash.
Wait, look. So,
like, how are you defining supernatural?
Well, I'm trying to understand your worldview, so I'm just asking.
Well, yeah, my worldview is on Alethia's axiom, which you claim that you already read over. So, if you already read that over, then you should already understand how I've parsed all of this out. And so now we should be talking about your worldview.
Well,
my worldview is Alethia's axiom. Did you read it?
Don't do. I did read it. I was talking about it before you joined. So.
Okay. Did you take notes on it?
I did. Yeah. But this is.
Okay. So then you understand my worldview. You understand the definitions. You understand all of it.
Yeah. Wait. Well, that's not to say. No, that's not to say that. I read it. I made notes on it to say that I retained. Like the content is like not the same, right? Like. What? It's not a worldview.
You understand my worldview from Alethia's axiom, and so now I'm curious what your worldview is.
Wait, but you're just not answering my question. Is that landing?
How many questions do you want me to answer?
Well, I mean, I don't think it doesn't matter. Like, do you think that your worldview would get beter with more questions answered?
How many questions in a row? Here, how about this? How many questions in a row do I have to answer for you to stop being a coward and answer any question about your worldview?
Yeah, your uncharitable characterization aside, right?
How many questions do I have to answer?
As many as I have to ask, right? Do you think that your position gets better with clarification or worse?
Do you think that
That's a question.
I'm obligated to answer all of your questions?
Did I say that, or is that wildly uncharitable?
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't know that this was a charity event. Can I claim this on my taxes?
Wait, are you equivocating on charity?
What would the equivocation be?
Yeah, the principle of charity as is used in like
What's the
like debate
equivocation?
states. You saying charity as in like donating to the poor or something?
Well, I am. I'm donating information to you.
Yeah, I'm not conceptually impoverished though, so I'm not the poor
Well,
here.
that's not been proven yet.
Look, Sharks, look, these like wicked characterizations aside, right? Do you think that your view gets better with clarification or worse?
Well, it depends on what you mean by clarification. I think that you moving the goalpost away from Alethia's axiom and trying to have me analyze further propositions is disingenuous.
Shark,
So
do you know?
here's what I
Wait,
think. Here's what I think.
look.
Sorry. I think if Alethia's axiom is demonstrating one argument and it's not talking about the Trinity, and then you want to talk about the Trinity, then now you're no longer talking about Alethia's axiom because you're afraid of Alethia's axiom.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think that you're guilty of
Okay,
doing?
so
Wait,
if you agree-
Sharks,
listen,
Sharks. I
if you
wasn't
agree
done.
that
Sharks,
you're
I
just
wasn't done.
afraid of
Sharks, I wasn't done.
Alethia's axiom, then that's
Do
fine.
you agree that you're guilty of doing the same thing you're accusing me of?
No.
Okay,
I
well,
have no
what do you
problem-
think?
hang on. I have
Wait,
no
Sharks,
problem-
what
hang
do you
on,
think
hang
the
on. I have
text
no
on the screen is about?
I have no problem talking about furthering the conversation if you concede to Alethia's axiom.
What do you think the text on the screen is about?
Text on the screen?
Yeah.
His text?
Yeah, the thing we were talking about. When you say it's disingenuous to change the subject of the conversation, right? That's what you did when you entered the space. So you're guilty of the crime you're levying against me,
What are you
right?
talking about? Hang on.
The whole
Wait, sorry.
The whole time
He's talking
I've
about
been
atheism is
about
irrational.
Alethia's axiom. I've been
Wait,
talking
yes.
about Alethia's axiom, and you were trying to do this to me, and I kept just pulling you back to Alethia's axiom. That's what we.
Yeah, and
Wait,
just to clarify,
no,
when I came
wait.
up,
Can I
came up, just to clarify, when I came up, it was to correct your confusion, just like the rest of you people, not knowing what the equivocation fallacy is. So go and spread the word and stop saying that it's an equivocation when it's not.
Yeah, was I claiming that it was equivocation or was I asking,
Yes,
Sharks?
yes, you did.
No. I said, are you equivocating? Right?
Okay, does that imply that he's going
Does
to have
it
some
necessarily
kind of equivocation?
imply? Of course not.
I think you implied it.
No, of course I didn't. I was
The
asking.
claim is that you implied it.
Yeah, and that's a claim you have yet to substantiate.
Oh, I think that has been substantiated through your character.
Okay, yeah, well, I just would point out that
So
you're the
again,
one...
do you concede on Alethia's axiom or no?
Of course not.
Okay, so what's the argument against Alethia's axiom?
I mean, I can forward you my critiques like we tried to do on Discord, or you can keep being, like, viciously, like, I don't know, mischaracterizational.
I just want to clarify, do you have a formal defeater to Alethia's axiom?
Formal? No. Did you ask me
All
for
right,
that?
when you or one of your other friends can figure it out, formalize it and send it to me. Sorry for taking over your space, Bill. Love you.
No, you're
Yeah, that's
fine.
wild.
You are welcome anytime, man. Like, I'm using your arguments and stuff because I see the value in them and everything, and like, you're welcome anytime, man. Anytime.
Yeah, so I guess Bill, do you think that like what just happened there was like a charitable
Yeah, I'm
session
not
of
gonna get into the
interlocuting?
whole meta conversation and into your guys' whatever. I just really honestly just want to talk about Alethia's axiom.
Do
And
you
if you
think that
want to move
wait,
on from that, if you want to like concede to that and move on to the next
you
step, we
agree
can do
though
that.
that we were talking about the first bullet point, which is atheism is irrational. That's why I was asking you how rationality fits into God and the truth as an indirect particle or a direct particle or whatever you said, an article, right? When I was asking you,
my argument for atheism is irrational. When you ask me that, the argument is the Alethea's axiom.
well, that's not what you said though, right? You walked me down. You didn't
When you
say
asked
that.
me how atheism was irrational, I told you because it was denial of truth. You asked me, like, how does that make sense? That's the argument for that point.
Look, when I was asking you, when you were walking me through God equals the capital T truth and the lowercase truth and what that is,
That's
right?
all Alethea's axiom.
That's fine. That's fine. But expecting me to know, based off of this text on the screen, that you're like quoting Alethea's axiom is like
quoting. It's an argument. I'm using an argument.
I'm not
That's
saying
what
it's bad that
philosophers
you're
do.
using it. I'm just saying that like
Philosophers use arguments. They
look,
use
Bill.
proofs
Look,
in
Bill.
order to
You're
argue.
look. I think that you think that I'm being like mad at you or something. I'm just
I
saying.
believe you think I'm not. I'm trying to just be reasonable and just
Look.
stick with reason and not like my thoughts and feelings and about you and stuff. That's not my intention here. Like,
Okay, well, that characterization aside as well, I'm saying that me not knowing that the text on the screen is representative of Alethea's axiom isn't wildly like unexpected, given that it's an argument that I critiqued heavily, made notes on, and then like moved on with my life, right? So if this text on the screen is about Alethea's axiom, right? For you to expect me to know that, right? And then to like take Shark's side when I failed to realize that is just kind of like out of alignment with what I thought your character was, right?
okay, man. If you want to be mad at me, then be mad at me.
I'm not mad. I'm saying that, like, can you understand me not understanding that this text on the screen is Alethea's axiom? Wait,
I
Shark.
mean, if you want, I could put Alethea's axiom on the screen for you if that would help. Would that help, or
Not at this point, no, because it's there's no like principle of charity anymore. So I am gonna head off, but I mean, it's not like Shark doesn't know my worldview. Like, we had an hour conversation about it. I just uploaded on my YouTube channel where I explained that I believe in a past eternal universe with naturalism, and then like a bunch of other worldviews. So like, it's not like I need to, every time I'm in front of a crowd of people, espouse my worldview in order to have a productive conversation, right? But I don't.
well, do you think it's a charitable thing to do if you're talking about worldviews, that you share worldviews and critique each other's worldviews, or?
Yeah, and I was ready to do that when you said atheism is irrational. What I intended to do was prove that it wasn't irrational by giving my worldview. But then I got accused of like saying that you were equivocating when I was simply asking. And
so
then,
when I ask these questions and go over this, am I asking you about your worldview?
no, I think you're explaining your worldview.
But I'm asking you questions if that makes sense, if you agree, like.
And in my
that's
head,
an opportunity for you to share in your worldview, like yes or no, and why not
well,
pontificate on it.
so in my head, in order to be charitable, I'm trying to, when you're presenting your worldview, I'm trying to do an internal critique. So instead of like when you say God equals the capital T truth, and if I go, God's not real, idiot, atheism is true, like obviously we wouldn't get anywhere, right? So when I'm listening to your worldview, I'm trying to understand the way that you're using the words and give productive feedback. And then when I understand your worldview, I would offer my worldview to the chopping block and let you do the same and rigorously inspect my worldview. Right? Like
that's the way your plan on the way things should go, or
yeah, but
or how you
if
wanted
not, then
things
we would
to
just
go.
be equivocating, right? If I looked at truth there, both definitions of truth, and I use them in the way that I use truth, as in there's not a difference between truth and capital T truth, I would just be equivocating on your worldview.
Well, so do you believe in this then?
What unifying principle of things that are true? No, I don't know why I would hold that just because two things are true. There's like some like Platonic realm that like unites those things. No.
So what is like your worldview? What like explanation for like two distinct things having the same property?
Yeah, I think that like what instantiates redness is the ball. What instantiates redness is the car. What instantiates trueness is like that which comports to reality, or like whatever theory of truth you want to hold, right? It's a predicate that can be used on many number of things.
So the red car is red because the car makes it red? Is that?
No, the redness is a predicate. Like trueness is a predicate. We can write down a list
But
of
what is it predicated on is what I'm asking.
Yeah, on the object, the car.
So the car is what's making the car red.
No, the car is what is instantiating the redness. Like if I said wet is red, it wouldn't make sense because wet is a predicate and red is a predicate, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so if I said wet is red, that's not really you're not able to parse that out because I'm using a predicate onto a predicate rather than onto a particular.
Well, it depends on what you mean by wet. Like, what does that symbolize?
Yeah, the common understanding of what it means to be wet.
Well, okay, but I mean, you understand, like, if you and I are just talking without a dictionary open, we're using words.
Right.
We're using words in particular ways depending on the context, what we're talking about.
Like the wetness
and,
you are when you get out of the shower.
I might use a word that maybe isn't collectively understood a way, but I might have what's the word for it? A proprietary definition, right?
Sure. Do you have that for wet? When you get out of the shower, are you wet?
What do you mean by wet?
Do you think that when you get out of the shower, you are wet?
If I'm going to agree to it, I need to know what you mean by it. So what does it mean?
An emergent property of things covered in water.
An emergent property, then yes.
Okay. Do you think that when you get out of the shower, you have the emergent property of wetness?
Oh, by wetness you mean this?
Yeah.
Then yes.
Okay. If I said when you got out of the shower, right? If you said I'm wet, and I said that's true, and the wet is red, what does that mean?
I don't know. What do you mean by red?
Yeah, reflecting a frequency of light such that our cones and rods perceive, the first color in the rainbow spectrum.
Okay, well then no, that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, okay.
In that context.
But I'm
that's
saying,
why the context is what matters. That's
no,
why
but Bill, I get the principle of what you're saying. But if you don't, in fact, have an idiosyncratic definition or a proprietary definition, we're just doing more work than we need to parse out these terms, right? When I asked you, are you wet when you get out of the shower? If you would have said yeah, then we have a common understanding of that predicate, and we can use that in common parlance.
But that wouldn't be very thoughtful on my part.
It doesn't matter if you
first I should be charitable and figure out what it is that you mean by the words you're saying.
If we share an understanding, look, why not do that?
If we share the understanding, yes.
Why not do that for every word we've spoken then?
If I already knew exactly what you meant when you said that, then yes.
Look. When I say look, you don't ask for definition. When I say don't ask for definition, you don't ask for don't and ask and a and definition. We've been using common words these whole time. And if we run into a place where it feels like the baggage of the philosophical discourse calls for further clarification, I'm fine.
Then we can stop and clarify and figure out what you
Bill,
mean by
when
what.
I ask when you get out of the shower, are you wet? And you thought for a second, that was just theater.
No, it wasn't. Now you're just attributing intention.
Okay. Then you're right. That was wrong.
And you're just
that was wrong. Okay, yeah, I get it. I'm not ad homing. I was wrong. So when I asked when you get out of the shower, are you wet? Did you have a concept of wetness that closely aligned to what we eventually figured out that I was talking about? Mm-hmm. Okay, so okay, let's just keep going then.
I'm a philosopher, man. If we're trying to figure out ideas and like figuring things out, and parsing through our worldviews and comparing them, then I'm going to be thoughtful. And if you ask me a question to get me to agree to something, first I need to know all of the conditions of the contract that I'm signing.
Okay, sure.
I need to know the language and what the language means. Any lawyer worth their salt will tell you the same thing.
So now that you know what I mean by wet, and you know what I mean by red, you agree that ascribing a predicate to a predicate doesn't make sense, right?
Not in every context.
Okay, so like the predicate of true, right? Why, if 2 plus 2 is true, and Bill is a philosopher is true, why can't...
If this is black and this is black, and it's true this is black and it's true this is black,
yeah,
right?
Yes.
So then what's the problem with that?
Well, I'm not saying there's a problem yet, because they both share the property of blackness and trueness. I'm just saying that there's no concept of black out there, absent of minds, that unifies that, and there's no concept out there of true that unifies that, right?
Yeah, real quick, Jim, I don't know if you misheard me. I'm saying I am a philosopher. I didn't say I'm not a philosopher.
Right.
Please don't misrepresent me. I'm literally saying I am a philosopher.
I mean, he's got a blank profile picture, so he's probably a scared boy anyway.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I'm just kidding.
I think Jim's a cool guy. But,
Oh, you know that guy?
yeah.
Oh.
I don't know him. I've talked to him a couple times. I've watched lives that he's in, listened to him, and him and J Mike and.
Okay, but
I see, like, this guy in the chat, don't Google it, which is, if you don't know about his profile picture.
wait,
don't
what's
Google
wrong with it? What's wrong with a cyan ego?
Him and I do not agree at all. We've talked a couple times. Like, I'm a philosopher. Like, this isn't just me saying it.
No, I get it. I
I'm
didn't
not
say
talking
anything
to you
about that.
right now. I'm talking to Jim, but.
Oh, okay. But you understand that, like, blackness, absent of minds, there's no, like, thing out there that's, like, you know, black, and it's a language and a concept of frequencies of light that we made up, and, you know, like, the same thing, you know, moisture is the essence of wetness.
Up colors, but.
Huh?
I don't think we made up colors, but
wait, I mean, the phenomena of colors we didn't make up, but, like, ascribing red. You know, like, I mean,
what colors are? We didn't make that up, but how we, like, the symbols we use to symbolize what colors are.
Yeah. I don't know. Rebecca's asking if you have a YouTube channel. You want to plug your YouTube?
I do. It's in my bio. I have not done really anything with it, and I need to go through and, like, kind of manage. I don't do anything with it, but if TikTok does end up going out, then that's where I'll probably end up. So it's in my bio. It's not flattering in any way, but.
Okay, so back to what we were saying. Why hold, like, can you describe Neoplatonism to me?
Neoplatonism to you?
Yeah, you said you're a Neoplatonist, right?
Mm-hmm. So you have universals that instantiate extensions, that have extensions, right? Or instances. So the universal, like greenness, an instantiation or an extension of that would be a thing that is green or having this property of greenness.
Yeah, okay. So wait, you think that, like, essence, okay, so it's kind of like, wait. What I don't understand is, let's say that, like, two rocks exist. They have your black example, like, they're both black. Right, it's true that they're both black. It's true that they're both square. All the property sets that they share and the property sets that they don't. Why? What's the argument? Those can't be separate, distinct, non-platonically related properties that just, like, don't, correlate to some abstracta.
Well, because there's something abstract that is there if we observe it. They are both sharing a property, but they're not identical. So there must be something there that is unifying them in that they are obviously sharing this property.
Are you saying it's not logically possible for them to both be black without it being unified in some platonic way?
Like we could use, like, numbers if instead of colors, if that would be easier. Like numbers, like.
Wait, I would really like to stick with the blackness thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so are you claiming that, like, it's impossible to have two things be black and the blackness not be, like, correlated to some Neoplatonic realm, and those to be two distinct entities that both have the property of being black?
Well, because there's a universal at work, right? Because if this is black and this is black and this is black, but they are not the same thing, there is a universality that is there. Whether you want to,
I know. I believe that you were trying to answer my question, but I don't think that you did answer my question. But I can answer the question. I can ask the question again.
This is why I wanted to use numbers, because it's a more succinct example.
Well, I agree, but I like
colors
to go.
Have a level of subjectivity to them. So.
I like to go into novel objections. That way we can stay in like.
Me too. That's me actually attempting to steal men. But.
So. My question was, do you think that's logically impossible for two separately distinct things to both be black without it being grounded in some Neoplatonic unifier?
Yes.
Okay, derive the contradiction, please.
What do you mean?
If you think that it's logically impossible, it entails absurdity through contradiction.
I guess maybe I'm missing what you're. I don't see the problem.
Yeah, you should be able to derive purely from the axioms of logic the contradiction between two distinctly separate things not sharing a unifying platonic realm of blackness, right? And you should be able to do that such that you can just derive a proposition and its negation in conjunction.
So what we're doing is we're saying that there is a state or a property that is black. That's why we recognize that this is black and this is black. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense to call both of them black.
It's true that both of them are black.
This should be black, and this should be schnickelfurt, and this should be look, and that should be bleh.
But wait,
why are we using the same exact symbol to describe
I'm not talking about the symbols. I'm talking about the phenomena of blackness. No minds exist.
I know what you're doing.
Huh? Okay. Then if you think that it's logically impossible, it should be easy for you to derive the proposition and its negation in conjunction to show that my position is absurd through pain of contradiction.
Okay, so what is the claim that you're making then?
I didn't make a claim. You did. You said it's illogically impossible for two rocks to have the quality of blackness with no minds that aren't being unified in some Neoplatonic realm. I'm saying derive the contradiction. Because you made a claim.
That's where I think